Okay, let's learn the 5 things that I do wrong with women. It says guys, but I'm assuming I do all these things wrong.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today I'm going to be going over 5 things that guys do wrong when it comes to women. So if you follow
Okay,
me on
Courtney,
Instagram, you might have seen me ask
let me
this
know.
on my Instagram story, and a bunch of ladies submitted responses for me. They shared their personal experiences. They really tried to give some constructive criticism. I made sure to specifically say that in no way, shape, or form is this meant to bash anybody or put anybody down.
Don't worry, I'll do the bashing for you. It'll be fine.
Or make anybody feel bad, but we're humans and sometimes we make mistakes or could do things better. So that is the point of this video, to maybe just be more aware of the things that you're doing and try to avoid them going forward. And you guys know I like to be fair on this channel, so don't you worry. There will be a video coming out as well about the things that women do wrong when it comes to men and dating.
Good, because I also want to bash them. Should be equal opportunity bashing
As well. And as a woman, I feel like I can speak pretty honestly about that. So let's get started. Number 1, and probably the most common response I got, is being too clingy and desperate. Being too needy and clingy from the very beginning can send a girl absolutely running for the hills.
I have totally never done this ever. I am lying so hard right now.
This is one of the worst things you can do when it comes to building attraction, and especially sexual attraction. This can also be a very big red flag in the beginning and come across as love bombing. If you guys don't know what that is, I did an entire video on games that people play when it comes to dating, so be sure to check that out.
What do you mean love bombing? Isn't it a positive thing? You're bombing them with love. How can that be bad? I'm bombing you with my love. I don't know what that is.
But really, it's just a huge red flag. The problem with being clingy and desperate is that you should have things going on in your life that give you purpose and fulfillment, right? And you shouldn't be relying on this girl to be the source of your happiness. And if you're coming across
But I do have things going on in my life, but when I'm around her, things are just so much more happy and awesome. So I want to be around her a lot, almost every minute of every day. There we go. Okay, we're solid now. Even when she goes to the bathroom, I'll just be right next to her, holding her hand. It's okay, honey. Squeeze it out.
needy and clingy, that's probably how you're acting. You should have your own life going on and not feel the need to be with this girl or talk to this girl 24/7. It's a huge turn off when guys act like that. And I wanted to read one of the responses I got because I thought it
24/7? So how much percentage can I do it, Courtney? God, why you spoil all my things?
was very well said. And it says, acting desperate and double, triple, quadruple texting without a response. I know it's hard to just sit and wait for a response, but for girls who are on dating apps messaging multiple guys, I know I was much more likely to keep texting a guy if I didn't feel such a huge pressure to text him back right away. Otherwise, I'd end up with 8 unanswered messages.
Yeah, but what if I'm writing the messages? What if I'm writing the messages and it's a long thought and like I do it in multiple like chunks. I'm just like do type like 10 words send, 10 words send, 3 words send, whatever. You know what? That's not. It's all one thought. It's just in multiple messages. That doesn't count, right? And I don't just keep messaging and being like, hey, how come you haven't read it yet? Hey, how come you haven't responded? I don't do that. I just drop it and leave, say my thing. And then when they answer, then I'll respond immediately as soon as I see the pop up and then question them where they went because they weren't answering me. So clearly they must be doing something else. So I need to know what's more important than I am. It's totally normal.
So this is something that's very real. I've experienced this as a woman. Think of being on the other side of that and being bombarded by someone you don't even know or haven't met yet, and how much of a red flag that seems and comes across as when that person hasn't even gotten to know you. So just really be conscious of this.
Well, how can they get to know me if they don't answer my messages and they take hours or they respond the next day? Huh? All the time we're wasting? Courtney, answer that. Answer that, Courtney.
I know it can sting a little bit and maybe not feel the best when we don't get A, the response that we wanted, or B, a response at all, but bombarding that person and bothering them back to back to back and sending all these messages and blowing up their phone is only going to make you look bad. So
No, that's how you get them to respond and answer you. Yeah. God, don't you know? You got to keep being like, hey, are you there? Are you there? Are you there? Are you there?
from a place of caring about you, I say it because I don't want you to do that to yourself or feel like you have to do that. When you do those things, it's really going to make you look clingy and needy and desperate, and we want to avoid that at all cost.
No, it makes me look like I care deeply and I really want to get to know you. And I think you're amazing. That's what it makes you feel like, because that's what clearly I'm saying. I'm really interested in you. So it's a positive that I'm bombing you with messages. Okay? All right. And not controlling it all.
And something that I would really recommend you guys doing here is stop focusing so much solely on chasing women. When you find your purpose and your passions in life, you will not feel that need to be clingy and desperate with women ever again. So if you're someone who struggles with this, you need to figure out some things in your life that will make you in return a better partner, a better boyfriend, a better you, whatever that looks like. I think it is important to, kind of figure yourself out. That needy and clingy behavior.
The point of life is to chase women. That's why I work and make money, so I can chase women, so I can find an amazing 10 out of 10 woman who I can marry and have an amazing relationship and tons of sex with. That's the point of life.
Behavior often stems from insecurity and a lack of fulfillment or purpose within your life. So once you get that area of your life sorted, or you start to work on it a little bit more, you're going to notice yourself acting a lot less clingy and desperate because you're fine on your own. Number 2, I've got poor.
Wow. Okay, Courtney. Okay, Courtney. But if I'm fine on my own, why do I need another person, Courtney? I need another person because I'm not fine on my own. Jesus.
Communication skills. So sadly, I think this is something that everyone is just.
How can you say that when the previous one was like communicating too much? So clearly I don't have this one because I communicate apparently too much. So over communicate.
Really bad at. Being able to effectively communicate how you're feeling and what you want from your partner is incredibly important. But even if you're not necessarily together yet, being able to be a good communicator from the start is a green flag and so important. When you start seeing someone, I do think it's really important to be transparent and open about what you're looking for to make sure that you guys are both on the same page.
So basically, what I was doing by messaging all the time and trying to get to know the person and being like, hey, what do you think about this? Blah, 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 and like laying down what I'm interested in was a green flag. So thank you for contradicting yourself, Courtney.
Being able to effectively communicate that to the other person to make sure that neither one of you are wasting each other's time is a great thing. And it's totally okay to be open about your feelings and your expectations. Contrary to popular belief, this does not make you a weak person, and women actually find it incredibly attractive when you are a good communicator.
Yeah, they especially like it when you cry in front of them, like when you watch a movie or when you watch The Mandalorian and Luke Skywalker comes and takes away Grogu and you start bawling because you haven't seen Luke Skywalker in, well, I don't know, like 30, 40 years, and then he's in the show and it's like the most impactful moment of your entire life. Yeah. And your woman sees you cry. That's basically, it gets her wet from your tears.
Part of being a good communicator is also being a good listener, which, if we're being honest, is something that a lot of us struggle with. Think of when you're going on a date with a girl, being able to have a great conversation and interact back and forth with her and keep the conversation going makes a good date. So a good conversation is often what makes a good date. So
yeah, it's when you talk about yourself repeatedly and just tell and just like diarrhea of a string of words and just fill all the empty space. Don't let any silence happen and just keep asking questions and just keep like verbal diarrheaing all over them. That's how they know you're really interested.
Keep that in mind when you're out on a first date with someone, or just when you're meeting someone new or interacting with someone. Being able to contribute to the conversation, be a good, effective communicator, and also being able to listen is a must-have for good conversation.
But if I'm listening, I can't talk, so I don't understand how that works in the communication thing. The woman's supposed supposed to listen. I'm supposed to talk. I thought you knew this, Courtney. God, obviously you don't listen.
I had a girl respond to my story and say, I went on a date with a guy who sat and talked about himself for an hour and a half and didn't.
That's pretty short. Did you end the date? Because it should have been at least 3 hours if you went for dinner and a walk after. So, sounds like you ended the date early. Weren't a very good listener, that girl.
Ask her a single question, just sat there and talked about himself. And as someone who has been on a date like that, it is such a turnoff when the other person on the date does not ask you anything and you're just sitting there asking them the questions the whole time, or they are just going crazy talking about themselves. I went on a first date with a guy this one time, and I don't know that he asked me a single question about myself. He literally sat there, talked about himself the entire time, was showing me photos on his camera roll of his like entire life. It was truly bizarre. And looking back, I just remember,
You don't show them photos on the first date. Are you kidding me? Keep that stuff secret.
how much of a turnoff that was. So I don't want you guys to be like that either. So being a good communicator also means asking them questions and listening to what they say, not necessarily just being the one talking the entire time.
What? But then how do I get my points across if I actually have to listen? I don't care about their opinion. It's about me. This is all about me, this dating thing, not them. I'm trying to find a hot 10 for myself.
So don't forget how important it is to listen and be self-aware when you're in situations like that. Obviously, sitting there and talking about yourself for an hour and a half is not a good look. And if you're self-aware, you're going to know that. Communication skills are absolutely everything. If you don't have good communication with your partner or the person that you're talking to or you just met, it's never going to work out. So getting your communication skills in a good standing and really working on that is incredibly important. Number 3, I have coming on to...
Yes. Make sure you're always doing all the talking so that they can listen because they're the woman and that's their role. Great. Glad we said that.
Strong, and this one makes me crazy.
Wait. You just said, Courtney, in the first one that I'm not allowed to send multiple messages or whatever because that's too, like, clingy and stuff. And then you said good communication, which and what I was doing was a green flag, and now you're saying that's coming, now you're going to go to, like, coming on too strong, and you're going to say this is a red flag. So you give me a red flag, a green flag, and then a red flag for the same thing.
Cringe. This is also one of the most common responses I got, and to be honest, I was not surprised by that. Look guys, I totally understand that we all have needs that need met, but coming on too strong sexually too soon is a disaster.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Like you shouldn't go in for the kiss? Like just hug it out? What are you talking about? Don't grab their ass. Okay, don't grab their ass when you hug them. I knew I was going to find something I was doing wrong.
Especially when it's before you've even built attraction or sexual attraction with the other person. It's a huge turnoff to women. It makes you look desperate. It makes you look like just a dog. It really just is.
But dogs are cute. So, like, can I do like puppy eyes, Meg? See, I can do that.
Not a good look for you. You really want to read the room. So being direct and being a bold guy is great. It shows confidence. It shows that you're direct and you can take control of a situation. However, when it comes to the sexual department, I do think it is important to, like I said, read the room and gauge how that other person is feeling too. You really do not want to come on too strong in this area if that other person is not giving you anything in return.
No, but that's just them playing coy. You got to get them in the mood, right? That's why Trump had the right idea, grab him by the pussy. I mean, that always works. Works for me.
My friend was on Tinder and this guy messaged her and the first thing he said was, "Want to get pizza and F word." And I say that because I like to keep it PG on this channel. You guys know.
Clearly that guy doesn't know anything. It's, do you want to Netflix and chill? You don't just come out and say the F word. Dude, you got no game, bro.
That, but if he would have just said, "Want to get pizza," that would have been fine. But she didn't even give him.
And then slip in the F. Later.
him the time of day or respond because he made it sexual from the first message. And if the other person has made it clear that that's what they're looking for as well, okay, that's a little bit different if you're just looking for a hookup or whatever. But if that person is on there for something a little bit more serious or a relationship or whatever it is, and you don't know that, or even if you don't know that yet, it's important to just kind of be neutral and get to know them instead of coming on so sexual and strong like a caveman.
What if you invite them over for pizza, but you actually just have an empty pizza box and with your junk in it? Lonely Island, anyone? Lonely Island? Dick in a box. Woo!
And one important thing that I wanted to touch on when it comes to this is sending inappropriate photos. Men, as we know, are extremely visual, and I don't think any of you would be mad if a woman sent you a naked photo, right? It's just kind of common sense. However, if a woman doesn't know you and gets a dick pic from you, it's going to be a huge turnoff for her.
No, you're just showing her what she's going to get later. You're like, look, this is what you're going to get later. You better prepare yourself. You better do some Kegels. You better do some stretches because you're going to need it.
So you really want to keep this in mind. Even me, I get on my Instagram, I go to my messages, and random men that I've never met before send me videos and photos of their penis, of them doing sexual things, and it is mind-blowing to me how anybody thinks that would make me like you or build attraction to you. And I try to give people the benefit of the doubt and understand different cultures and all of that as well, but
What? You like to understand different cultures? Because that's what makes that's what they might be doing. They're like, yeah, in our culture, we just send dick pics. And if the woman accepts, that's it. We're getting married. Yeah.
do not send a girl you've never met, a stranger, a photo of your penis. Just, you heard it here first, guys.
Yeah, you don't send your own penis. You send her a photo of somebody else's penis that you took off the internet. God.
Courtney Ryan told you not to. Please stop doing this. So again, once you
Yeah, make sure you write that in the message when you're not doing it, or when you're sending it. Send a dick pic of somebody else and say, Courtney Ryan told me to send this. Or actually, in this case, I'm the one saying to send it. So just say, Sherwin told me to send it.
you've built that sexual attraction with someone, I think being bold and being direct and taking the lead when it comes to this is a really great thing for a lot of people. Of course, you really want to kind of gauge how your partner feels about all of that, but understand that if you do this too soon and you come on too strong, it's going to send her running. Number 4, I have not being direct / not putting in any effort. I got a ton of responses about this one as well, and mainly girls saying that they always have to plan the date or they have to ask the guy out because he's too nervous. And they said that they want the guy to plan the date. They want you to ask them out because
Yeah, you don't let the woman make any of those decisions. They can't handle it. So you just do it yourself, clearly. You just book it and you're like, here's where we're going. I'm picking you up at 7. Done. That's it. And you better be wearing that black lingerie, etc., etc. That's it. And you know we're down to F after. You just tell her straight up. Notice how we flip-flop. We've gone from, hey, pizza and F, not good, to now being direct, pizza and F, good. Yeah.
because it makes them feel sexy and it makes you look confident and decisive, and girls like that. Taking the lead and being direct is so sexy, and I know a lot of you are probably going to be confused because in the last point I just said don't come on too strong, but
I'm glad you picked up on the thing that I just said, because literally you have contradicted yourself, and that's what women do. It's just confusing. So you just got to do what you're going to do.
I think coming on too strong sexually is very different than being direct and taking the lead in the beginning of a relationship. So that's kind of where pursuing comes into play, and we want to be pursuing someone that we like. Of course, we don't want to be chasing. Chasing and pursuing are two totally different things, but that pursuing factor is incredibly important and super sexy to women. If you're constantly letting your insecurities or being nervous keep you from asking a girl out, you've already lost. So
this is why stalking a girl, pursuing her to her house, and then waiting outside while she goes inside. It's also security, but it also gets her really turned on. Yeah.
So I would highly recommend you just ask her out. If she says no, she says no. It's good practice anyway. And I know that, when you've been rejected so many times, it can sting, it sucks, but you'll never know unless you ask. So you really want to ask her out and then also plan the date. And I got a lot of messages from you guys saying that you are tired of pursuing, you are tired of planning the dates, you are tired of asking people out. And I get it, especially.
Why would you be tired of that? That way you can control it, which is another positive thing in a relationship. You want to be the one controlling everything. You want to be the controller. You want to control her. You want to control the relationship.
If the girl isn't giving you anything in return, which to that I would say you should not be wasting your time, all of those things should be reciprocated to you as well. But for a first date, if you see a girl and you want to take her out, I would highly recommend asking her out. Don't wait for her to ask you, because I guarantee it's not going to happen. So ask her out, and then I would also really recommend just planning the first date. You don't have to plan every date for the rest of your life, but just plan that first date, take the lead, be confident, take her out, and I promise you it's going to be attractive to her. And on the topic of dates, it doesn't have to be a crazy expensive date. It doesn't have to even be elaborate. It can just be, hey, let's meet at this coffee shop at 2 p.m. on Sunday. Seriously, it can be as simple as that. It doesn't have to be crazy. So understand that asking her out, planning the date, being direct, and taking the lead is a huge turn on. Pursuing a girl shows that you care.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And you're willing to put in the effort instead of just texting her at 11 p.m. on a Wednesday, hey, you up? Come on.
No, it's hey, you up, like my dick, and then you send her the dick pic. And then you write by, Sherwin told me to send it. You're in the door. That's it.
Guys, anything worth having takes a little.
Actually, you know what? Best part about that is you'll be outside anyways because you'll be stalking her, so you will know she's up. So you can just respond to that, ha, I know you are, and then send her a picture of herself through the window. Yeah. She'll be begging for you to come in.
Little bit of work, in my opinion. So I think pursuing is something that is necessary, and every relationship requires effort. You can't just go in and think everything is going to fall into your lap or the other person is going to do everything for you. So again, like I mentioned, she should be putting in the time, effort, and energy that you are putting in as well. So
Yeah, like seriously, if I'm stalking outside your house, you better like do something equally as good. You better like let me do anal. I mean, come on. I mean,
if that's not happening for you, maybe it's time to move on. But I just want you guys to know that in the beginning, asking her out and planning the date and being confident and secure and masculine is attractive. And number 5, the last one on my list, is dishonesty. So this one kind of goes back to what I mentioned earlier about expectation.
so I'm saying you're not dishonest with anything I've said. You're literally outside and you're letting her know you're outside. You send her a picture and be like, I'm right outside whenever you want to F.
But I wanted to elaborate a little bit on that here. Be honest with yourself and make sure that you're being authentic with you and also with the dating process. Authentic relationships do not require you to abandon who you are or to pretend to be someone that you're not. So a little example I have here is maybe going on dates. So maybe on the first date, you want to impress her. You want to woo her and make her think that you have a ton of money, you're very successful. So you
Do I want to impress her? No, I want her to impress me. This is where I'm saying I'm going to tell her all the things. I'm going to like just, here's all my criterias. Here's what I need. And then I need her to show me that she's willing or able to fulfill those.
You take her to a 5-star restaurant that is super expensive, even though you're broke. Do not do that. Number 1, never sacrifice your financial security to get a girl to like you. We absolutely don't want to do that ever. Number 2, you're clearly not being authentic or genuine in that situation because you're just doing something to get her to like you. It's okay to show up as the best version of yourself, but you don't want to be showing up as someone that you are absolutely not. This isn't honest to that other person.
Okay, send your own dick pic then. Because if she does see the dick pic and you send, like a black dick, and obviously you're not black, yeah, she's going to have questions.
person, but it's also not honest with yourself. You really want to be honest and authentic so that you find people that are attracted to the real you and not someone that you're pretending to be, because let's be honest, you're not going to be able to keep that up forever, and you shouldn't want to. And not even just when it comes to money. I think a lot of guys go into a date so focused on if that other girl likes them, so much so that they don't even stop to think, do I like this girl? Am I being my real self? Would she even be attracted to the real me? So you want to kind of shift that to think about, do I even like her? Instead of going in with that scarcity mindset thinking, I have to get her to like me and I will do whatever it takes to get that. So we want...
Yeah, dating is all about yourself. So don't worry if she likes you. Just if you like her and you think she's hot, then you're good.
To avoid that. It's not authentic, it's not genuine, and it's not honest. The truth is that you don't need to do this, and a girl that is right for you will not expect you to, especially if you don't have the money or the means for it. So again, be honest with yourself, be honest with that other person. Don't pretend to be something that you're not. You really want to show up as the real you and not put on this big facade to get someone to like you that doesn't even like who you really are. And another little point with dishonesty is just making sure that your words and your actions match. I got a lot of messages from girls saying that the guys they're seeing will say one thing and then completely do something else, and I've been in that situation before, and it's incredibly frustrating. It is so sexy when a guy says he's going to do something and he does it.
Yeah, when I tell you I'm going to stalk you, I'm going to stalk you. I mean, I know.
really want to follow through and just be a guy of integrity, and a guy with integrity is not dishonest, and his actions match his words. And remember, you are what you do, not what you say you'll do. So keep that in mind for everything in your life.
Yeah, when you say pizza and F, it's what it is. Pizza and F.
And specifically when it comes to dating. So guys, that is all I have for 5 major things that guys do wrong with women. Again, not meant to bash anybody or put anybody down. This is just...
No, you just reaffirmed everything that I already knew. That's it. I think we'll leave it here because, I mean, I just realized that what I'm doing is perfect. And I should just keep doing everything that I just said here. And that's how I'm going to land women. Totally. All right, guys. Clearly, I was being satirical. But I have done some of those things. I have sent a dick pic, but it wasn't my own. It was somebody else's. And then said it was mine. I have definitely done that. Never stalked anybody. But I have messaged a woman a lot and been overly... Oh my God. Yeah. Doesn't really work well. Doesn't work well. No. All right. Hopefully this was enjoyable for you. Please like and subscribe. I don't always do silly ass commentary as much as this one where it was so stupid and ridiculous. But that's just the mood I was in today.